Good evening, everyone. It's the Activated One, New Bright 10, the Futuritarian. First and foremost, I want to say peace or Jasa. Yeah, this video right here is going to be on the movement of the skinny jeans. Now, when you look at the skinny jean movement, when was it first pushed? It was first pushed 11 years ago, right, on a massive scale. Now, I'm not talking about, you know, any time before then. I'm talking about on a digital signal. So what and who pushed the skinny jeans first? See, when you're dealing with these record labels, right? These record labels, everything plays a chain of command. So when you're dealing with these record labels, they have to push something to keep the so-called black race always in a state of emergency. Never a state of peace, never a state of being comfortable and elevating your mental status to a level of non-dependence. So when you go back, there's a video. It was called the Jerk video. It was by a group called the New Boys. See, because they knew even at then the intel got shot down to them. They knew even at that time that the news were going to come back, which is what the Nubians. So they try to use the New Boys, right, to push the homosexual agenda. Now this was 10 years ago, because everything has to be pushed at a 10. Why is that? Because the 10 deals with the 1 and the 0, which is dealing with quantum physics. That's why it's called electric quad frequency, because the frequencies that we are tapping in is coming from a quantum level. So they know that. So that's why when they came out with that song, Do the Jerk, that song, if you go back and listen to that song thoroughly, right, and at the first verse of the song, the first verse of that song, the rapper, the first rapper that's in that song, he's talking about, he gets into an argument with a female, and he ends up getting in an argument with the female, and what does he say in the song? He says something like, basically he wasn't going to go kick it with her no more. He was going to call his guys, and they was going to go back and do the jerk. And then he said, do the jerk to the left and do the jerk to the right. See, this is the submental push that they pushed 10 years ago, and they did a good job. They actually did a good job tapping into them higher dimensions. But their frequency's being cut off anyway. They can't even tap into certain channels right now, but that's a whole different video. So yeah, when you go back, everybody go back and listen to that song, The Jerk. Listen to it thoroughly, analyze the video. And when you analyze the video, you're going to understand that was an agenda that was being pushed 10 years ago. And now look at the so-called black race now. Because even when we were younger, and when Crisscross came out with that song Jump Jump, that was an agenda also. When Crisscross came out with that song Jump Jump, the Daddy Mac I make you jump, you already know the rest. And what was the agenda? The agenda was the backward, the wearing your jeans backwards. And even back then, the people that I was hanging with, even back then, we didn't wear our pants backwards. We thought that was corny. We really did. And it wasn't even on, a homosexual gay level. We wasn't even thinking like that back then. But we just thought the whole concept of that was just corny anyway, wearing your pants backwards. It's like if you got to go use the bathroom and you got to take a piss, you got to pull your pants all the way down to take a piss, and now your ass is being exposed. So we already thought that was corny anyway. because a lot of us that grew up in the 90s, we were kind of already conscious on somewhat level, or woke, not even conscious, woke. We were woke on somewhat level, but that was the agenda with Crisscross. They were trying to push the homosexuality in, but they were they were slowly trying to push it and creep it in to the so-called black race. So with the Crisscross was the backward jeans, where they had the zipper in the back. Why would you even wear your jeans like that unless you want to be a homosexual? Simple as that. Then in 2010, that's where the New Boys came out with the song "Do the Jerk." See, when you go back and look at that video, it's so significant because now, when you see certain things in that video, and you're gonna know that it's an agenda. Now, when these record labels are sitting in these offices and they're thinking of something else to push, majority of these record labels, when you're dealing with hip hop, rap, whatever you want to call it, it's always going to be something that's going to affect the mental aspect of the community to keep people being to keep people as monkey see, monkey do. This is real simple. Monkey see, monkey do. So that's where the skinny jeans originated from, was from the song "Do the Jerk." So this was a 10-year push. And like I said before, they did a good job. They did a really good job because, and it could be because, dealing with teenagers, when you're dealing with teenagers, young men and women that are in their early 20s, and they're trying to make a fashion statement, they're trying to fit in. I understand all that. But see, this is where the separation comes in, where the ones that are not thinking like that, that means that you have a mindset of being in the future, possibly. That's what that means. Because if you're looking around you're looking around in your environment, in your community, and you're looking like, why is it like this? Why is everybody, majority of everybody, you're dealing with at least a good 90% when you're dealing, especially some of the slums, some of these cities that really got the slums. Because I know some of y'all been on the internet, you've been seeing that one brother, he rides around and he films the neighborhoods, and he shows you Baltimore, he shows you Detroit, he rides around, and I'm subscribed to that brother because I want to see those hoods. I want to see them. I'm not there. I never seen them before. So when he does that, I sit there and look, and I'm just like, man, the Beast done did a good job. I give credit where credit's due, even though they the Beast. But I give credit where credit's due. They did a good job, man, on dumbing down the neighborhoods, keeping in a low, demented state. So when you're dealing with these private meetings that these labels have, there's always an agenda behind it. Always going to be an agenda. 10 years ago, it was the skinny jeans. Now look at it. Now look at what's going on right now. You got dudes wearing skinny jeans that's not even gay. That's how crazy it is, because they want to push. They want to, with their agenda that they're pushing it. Even with the straight guys, they're pushing the homosexuality agenda. Then dealing with the LGTB, I don't even know what it is, but dealing with that, with the Black Lives Matter movement. So all this stuff has been an agenda. So when people represent that, man, you work for the Beast, man. That's who your God is the damn Beast. It is what it is. I was at a house, we was barbecuing, and this lady had came to the house and put a Black Lives Matter sign in the yard. And I'm just like, that what is that doing for the children? That's not doing nothing to extend the mind frame of the children to move forward, to be empowered on the planet. That's the only way you can get past this prism, aka prison. Because now when you're dealing with the internet's out, the ethernet. The World Wide Web is out. So there ain't going to be no more excuses. Because now you have a choice. You have a choice now. Back in the 90s and the 80s, we didn't have internet. We didn't have access to woke. We didn't have access to conscious. We didn't have access to activation. We really didn't. You had one brother that you probably went to high school with, or you was in school if you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and you know he might have had a dashiki on, this and that. He was in his own little world, and you know, even with me, I was trying to fit in even in high school, trying to be well, actually, not really. I was really quiet, but as far as dressing goes, as far as your school attire, I would try to fit in that way. But I was really quiet because I used to always be observative of people. But that was in the 90s and the 80s. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have access to woke conscious. And the ones that was woke at that time, we really just avoided them. We really didn't say nothing to them. We thought they were a little bit, weird. You know, he might have a dashiki on with some sandals and, a sage necklace. We're looking at him like, but now with the internet out, internet out now, you can go into a deep state. The internet out, now with the internet out, the internet was put out here for multiple reasons. But one reason is to get past the woke stage. So yeah, that's that Sauna Jerk. That was the pushing. That came out, the Sauna Jerk came out in, I'm not sure, but I think 2010. Every 10 years, that's that quantum level. There's always some push every 10 years. Just like in 2001 was 9/11. You know. No, let me rephrase that. No, in the year 1999, it was the virus. But which virus was it? It was the computer virus. In the year 2000, they were pushing the computer virus. Just like what now in 2020, it's the coronavirus. So when you're dealing with that song "Do the Jerk," that was the starting point to what you see right now today. It was a whole 10-year agenda, to dumb down the youth and keep their mind state at a standby. Now, what do I mean by standby? Their mind state's in a standby, just like a computer. Like right now, this computer's on. Right? I'm sitting in front of two computers. They're on. I move the mouse, right? But you can't see nothing on the screen. I move the mouse, the screen pops up. That means it's on standby. It's working, but it's on standby. And only certain ones are going to be able to get past the standby to move forward into the future. So that's where the skinny jeans came from. It came from that group, the New Boys. And go back and look at that video. And then in one part of the song, he was talking about, I'm doing a jerk to the left. I'm doing a jerk to the right. What is he jerking? You got to really think about that. I broke this down to I got two little twin brothers. I broke this down to them back then in that day, before anybody was really even knowing what they're talking about. So I always, you're chosen or you're not. I always been somewhat activated even back in the day, because I broke that song down to them then. Their friends were just like disgusted. Like, are you sitting? Then they listening to it like, man, that sounds like what he's saying though. I said, yeah. That's why when he was with the little young girl at the beginning of the video, and he was talking to her and they got into an argument. He was like, F that, I'm finna go call whoever, my boys, and then we're gonna go back wherever and do the jerk. Then he said, I'm doing a jerk to the left, I'm doing a jerk to the right. You already know what that's about. But yeah, dealing with these corporations, man, they're secret meetings. But you have to take what they do, flip it and extend it. It's the activated one. New Bright 10, the Futuritarian Peace, Josiah.